y'all, it's Kay from the Literary Apothecary and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another bi-weekly reading vlog. This is for the weeks of August 26th to September 9th, which is my mom's birthday, so happy birthday, Mom. The books that I have finished to check in about, I can't really tell you much about it because it was just a beta read. It's not a published book yet, but it was written by Baptiste Pinson-Wu, who was the author of Yellow Sky Revolt, and this book was so much fun. It was so good. It's a historical fantasy about samurai and undead samurai, and a mythological story about a sword and a place and a key, and it's just really a lot of fun. I can't really describe it very well because my brain just keeps thinking about how good it was instead of what it was about. But I can't wait for him to polish that up so everyone gets to read it because I loved it. Once I finished that, I actually started 2 editing projects. One for Jim Wilborn, who was the author of 7th Cadence, and another one for Palmer Pickering, who is the author of Moon Deeds and Heliotrope. Both of these I'm really enjoying. Can't really talk a lot about it as they're in development, but those are some exciting developments that are coming along. My current reads, so tonight I am hoping to finish at least 1, maybe 2 books. I will definitely be finishing up Little White Hands, hopefully Labyrinth's Heart. This week will be the week that I finish up A Declaration of the Rights of Magicians. I'm saying it now. Hopefully I finish it by the end of August. I've got a couple days, we'll see. I've also got the Path of Daggers going along. I think I'm like 30% through that one. It's all right. Not my favorite in this series, but it's all right. Right now, let's see, A Declaration of the Rights of Magicians is sitting at about 3.5 star for me. Labyrinth's Heart is at, I want to say 4.5 stars. Path of Daggers is a 3 star right now. But I'm still pretty early on in that, so that might bump up. Little White Hands is a solid 3-star book, maybe 4 star by the end of it, we'll see. So that's where I'm at now with my current reads, and I will check in with y'all again very soon. But hey y'all, so I've got a reading check-in, but first I have a very small book haul. So it's become kind of a tradition that on John's birthday we go to the bookstore. It was his idea, I swear. He said, let's go to a bookstore, get you some books. So I've got 2 more additions to my books my boyfriend gave me collection. The first one was what looks like a historical fiction book that looked really interesting to me. The Librarian Spy by Madeline Martin, novel of World War II. Yes, another World War II, but this sounds so interesting. Ava thought her job as a librarian at the Library of Congress would mean a quiet, routine existence, but an unexpected offer from the U.S. military has brought her to Lisbon with a new mission, posing as a librarian while working undercover as a spy gathering intelligence. Meanwhile, in occupied France, Elaine has begun an apprenticeship at a printing press run by members of the resistance. It's a job usually reserved for men, but in the war, those rules have been forgotten. Yet she knows that the Nazis are searching for the press and its printer in order to silence them. As the battle in Europe rages, Ava and Elaine find themselves connecting through coded messages and discovering hope in the face of war. That just sounded absolutely fantastic, exciting, exhilarating to me. So I can't wait to find room in my TBR for this one. And then the other book that I picked out was a book that I have been wanting to read ever since it was announced. Before it was even released. It's a new release, which is very, very rare for me to get new release books. New release in a hardcover, and I felt like this was a really great price for it. That is, of course, The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. I have heard such amazing things about this. I've wanted to read this, like I said, ever since he said this book is coming. The premise sounded amazing to me. And that cover is just gorgeous. John looked at this cover and said, wow, that looks really cool. So I can't wait to read this book. Two strangers find themselves connected by a vast and mysterious library containing many wonders and still more secrets. In this powerfully moving first book in a new series from the international best-selling author of Red Sister and Friends of Thorns, I can't wait. Y'all know how much I love books about books and books about libraries, and I got 2 books that I am so excited to get to, hopefully soon. Now for my reading update. So this morning I finally finished Little White Hands by Mark Cushion. This was my second self-pub Sunday book for August, and I enjoyed it. I think I am falling at about a 3-star. I still have to do my compile score for it and see where it falls officially, but my initial rating after reading it is a 3-star. I thought, you know, the writing was decent. It was solid writing, but it just didn't wow me, and it felt like there was a lot going on, almost too much going on in this one little book. Our main character is 11, and he definitely acts like an 11-year-old, but at other times he acts much older and talks like he's much older. Almost, I hate to say it, but it feels like almost like the author was imprinting himself on the character instead of the other way around. So that kind of was a little confusing to read, but overall I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and I will have a full written review for that coming soon. So tonight I will be starting Thrice by Andrew Meredith. This is going to be my second Andrew Meredith book. This is book 1 in his second series. I forget the name of the series. And this will be for one of our September Self-Pub Sundays coming up on the 10th. So I can't wait to start that. I've heard it's totally different than the other series he has, which is good news for me because, as you know, Deathless Beast didn't really sit all that well with me. I thought it was fine, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. So reading the premise of Thrice, I feel like this one will sit much better for me, so I'm excited to dive into that. That's it for now, and I will talk to y'all again soon. Hey y'all, one last check-in for this bi-weekly reading vlog. I'm gonna try to make this quick because it's been storming outside all day and there's been thunder going on and off, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear me over this loud thunder, so I'm gonna make this quick. I've finished one book since my last check-in. That is, of course, Labyrinth's Heart by M.A. Carrick. This one I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I love this world and these characters, and I'm sad to see the series end. But the reason why I gave it 4.5 and not 5 stars was that although I loved everything that happened in the book, it felt like the authors were trying to cram in 2 books worth of content into one book. Like, they were really trying hard to stay to a trilogy, and it just felt like it would have been better if they broke it up into 2 books. But I did love everything that happened and all of our characters, and sad to see the series end, but so excited to see what else M.A. Carrick has in store for us in the future. What I'm going to be working on this weekend. So this weekend, I hope to finish at least A Declaration of the Rights of Magicians. I know you've heard me say that before, but this time I am definitely going to finish it by the end of this weekend. I have less than 100 pages, maybe less than 50 pages to go, so that one is definitely going to be finished. The other one that I'm going to finish this weekend is Thrice by Andrew Meredith. This is for my Self-Pub Sunday episode coming up tomorrow on Sunday the 10th. This one I am enjoying more than Deathless Beast, though not as much as I hoped to. I'm hoping that'll pick up once I get into the meat of the story, because I'm still pretty early on, so I really need to get a go on that before our live show tomorrow. Other books that I will be reading this weekend is, of course, the Star Wars trilogy book, which is a novelization of the first 3 movies. We're starting off with A New Hope, and I'm a couple chapters into that, and it's really interesting to see these characters that you know through the films in novelization format. We've met R2-D2, C-3PO, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Princess Leia, and it's just really interesting to see these characters in this format, and also to see the spelling of some of their names. I would never have guessed that spelling of R2-D2 and C-3PO especially was totally different than I had imagined this entire time. So I'm really excited to continue with that. What else? I'm also reading The Ark for the Hexologist by Josiah Bancroft. Really enjoying this. I love his writing so much. He's got this zany, crazy way of writing that makes you feel like it's both everyday and fictionalized crazy world, and I absolutely need a portmanteau. The other book that I will be reading this weekend is The Orchard Keeper by Cormac McCarthy. I started this past week. I needed an audiobook, and Audible said that this would be included in my library until the 12th, so I said, let me take this chance to go ahead and read this book that I've been wanting to read for a long time. And I've forgotten how slow Cormac McCarthy's prose is, so it's taken me a little bit to get into it, but this is kind of a dual storyline, dual point of view, a one man who has killed another man on the side of the road. From his point of view, self-defense, and then our other point of view is of the dead man's son, and so I'm excited to see where these two storylines cross. I will also likely be starting my novellas for the speculative fiction indie novella competition series. We got our allotment of novellas this past week. Within a few hours, it sold out, essentially. It filled up to the 100 slots. So we got our 20 novellas, and our team has kind of picked which ones we want to read. Each novella has to be read by at least 2 reviewers, and then we will select 5 novellas to go on from round 1 to round 2. And this will go from September to December, so I am really excited to get into this. I have a whole bunch of novellas to read that sound really awesome, so I think I'm going to start that either today or tomorrow, start in on my first novella. And technically, the competition doesn't start until the 15th, so you won't hear any more about my novellas until then, but once the 15th comes around, next week, I will be updating you all on my novellas and how I'm enjoying reading all of these novellas for this competition. So that's it for now. Let me know in the comments below what you're looking forward to reading the most in the next 2 weeks. What was your favorite reading moment from the past 2 weeks? My favorite reading moment was reading Labyrinth's Heart, of course. I absolutely love M.A. Carrick's writing, and I loved getting through this arc. Even though technically I finished it after the 3rd book was released, I was still reading the arc, so there's that. As always, my Patreon and my Discord information will be in the description below. Keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.